Alright, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Master Viewer back again with another review, and tonight we are doing a review for The Brutalist. I was debating on whether or not I should watch this because it is 3 hours. It was 3 hours long, and at the time it was very late. But I decided, yeah, sure, why not? So let's watch it. And so I did watch it, and I finished it. It is currently very late at night, and I'm doing the recording. So, but yeah, I did end up watching it. So let us just get started with the plot. So the plot is basically you have this immigrant that is immigrating, I'm pretty sure from the Holocaust. Like he's this Jewish Hungarian immigrant named Laszlo Toth, and he arrives in America. And he originally he was intended to stay with his cousin Attila, who is, by the way, played by Alejandro Nivola, who is the actor that played Dicky Moltisanti in the Saints of Newark. So the Many Saints of Newark, and I did not realize that until I watched this. He also played Rhino in Craven the Hunter, which so he has a pretty diverse. He has a diverse catalog of roles that he's been in, and he really does not look like he doesn't look like the character he played in Craven, but I'm just pointing that anyway. So you have Laszlo, played by Adrian Brody. He ends up. He gets to America and he stays at his cousin Attila's house, but then after a work site accident, you could call it, like not an accident as in like someone got hurt, but they do end up they get commissioned. Like their job is basically like to do construction job. Like Laszlo is an architect, and so they get commissioned to redo this rich guy's dad's library. So then they take the job, and so they're doing it, but then there's an accident on the site, and then at the same time the dad ends up, the dad, by the way, is Harrison Lee Van Buren Sr. So he ends up coming back up to the work site, and then he gets really upset and stuff. So then, because he doesn't like surprises, and he didn't know what was going on. So you have Laszlo. He ends up taking the fallout because Harry Jr., the one that commissioned them, he threatens to sue because they ended up breaking something which they were anyway going to replace. So that was kind of weird, but. So Attila, and then Attila's wife, she's. It said like so later in the movie, it's like they say like she was Catholic, so she didn't like him. So I'll get into it more later, but she told Attila that he made a pass on her. So Attila ends up kicking him out, and so then you have Laszlo. He's out on the street and stuff. He's very poor. He's an immigrant, and so but the father Harrison, he ends up he finds out that like no, he did some like really good work, Laszlo. So then Harrison ends up commissioning him to build a memorial like center for his mother that ended up dying on the day that he met Laszlo. So the movie is basically Laszlo's like pursuit to build this architectural masterpiece, I guess, something like that. And throughout the movie, I think that the themes of the movie are like about like the immigrant struggle in a new country. Basically, it's like how the immigrants, like they got treated poorly in like it takes place during like a few decades. Like I think it starts out in the 1940s, like right after World War II, and then it goes up until like the 1980s, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, and then it's skip forward a bit. Some stuff happens in the middle, but then eventually so there's an accident that happens like where a train gets derailed and stuff, so the project is halted and stuff. And so Laszlo, he is kind of let go, but then eventually Harrison, he decides he wants to continue the project. So he recommissions Laszlo, and then they go on a trip to Italy in order to get some marble for the architecture work. And so they end up, and while they're there, I guess they get invited to a party. And while Laszlo's there, he ends up like taking some drugs, and so he's like gets really sick and stuff. And I did not see this coming at all. But Harrison, he ends up raping Laszlo, and so. And then when they get back from Italy, then this causes Laszlo to spiral and stuff, and it's like he's really he's like really angry after that point. And then so you have yeah. By the way, there is a character Sophia. It's with a Z at front, but it's going to be annoying to say Zofia. I'm just going to call her Sophia. Sophia, she is Laszlo's niece, who Laszlo's wife. What's her name? Elizabeth. She was taking care of Sophia up until this point, and it's in the middle of the movie. Like they end up they managed to get to America thanks to the help of like Harrison's attorney. So Sophia ends up going to Israel. She ends up going back to Israel to be in the home country of the Jews. I think they said something like that. So she ends up going back to Israel. By the end of the movie, you have Elizabeth. She says she is also going to go back to Israel because she hates like the country is like they say it's like a rotten country and they're being treated terrible. So then so yeah, that, and she almost dies, by the way, because she has like osteoporosis. So she's in the hospital, and she tells this to Laszlo. And so, and then before they end up leaving, Elizabeth, she ends up going to, she goes to Harrison's house, and then she confronts Harrison for like raping her husband Laszlo, and then after that, it's like Harrison disappears, and I think it's implied that he committed suicide, but yeah, you don't see him after that, and then it skips ahead until like 1980, where it shows architectural, I don't know what you would call it, but like a gallery, I think, for like for all the architecture that Laszlo did, and then the movie just ends with that basically. So kind of a not confusing plot, but I guess a hard plot to explain, but it's not like straightforward or anything. So so I'm gonna give the plot I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I guess it was above average. It was interesting to see the immigrant struggle for like immigrant in the 19 like in the between 1940 to 1980, I guess, or like the immigrant struggle in like the mid 1900s. So that was interesting. You also have like a character, it's not just Laszlo and Elizabeth. You also see Gordon. He's like another not immigrant, but he's like a poor guy that's like also like he's not white, he's black, so he ends up also facing like some struggles, I'm guessing. So he's like also like poor. He ended up getting drafted to fight in, I forgot where he got drafted, but it was like the 92nd platoon or something that he had to fight for, and so he ended up going off to war. His wife ended up dying, and he is a single father raising a son. So yeah, so he also, so basically the movie is portraying like the struggle that immigrants faced in the, it's not based on a true story, but it's like it's like portraying the struggle that immigrants face and stuff. So 6 out of 10 for the plot. I thought it was above average. I guess I was interested. I do think it was way too long. I think that once again, a 3-hour film, you got to earn it. This absolutely, I felt like could have been like 2.5 hours, maybe even shorter than that. But yeah, anyway, the characters. So Laszlo Toth, I thought it was great. I thought that Adrian Brody he's a very good actor. I've seen him in The Pianist. I thought he was great in that. He was in The Grand Budapest Hotel, also very good in that. So he plays a lot of European characters, and he does a good job with that. So Harrison Lee Van Buren, Sr., played by Guy Pearce, I thought he was also a very good character. The actor also did a great job with the character. Yeah, it was a real plot twist. I don't know why he raped him, but then again, I don't really understand the logic of most rapists, so I guess that falls in line. So you have Sophia, who she really doesn't say anything throughout the entire film until like, I guess towards the end, where not towards the end, but like I guess it's like in the last hour when she ends up when there's a time skip and like she's older now, and so she's like, she tells Laszlo and Elizabeth that she's going to Israel with her husband. So other than that, you have let's see, Harry Jr., who was fine. I guess he also like is kind of the entire film like you have the Van Buren family. They're kind of like hateful towards like they throw like these small like jabs at Laszlo for being like an immigrant and stuff. It's like Harrison, he says like oh, you've been here like however many years, and your accent's still like this, like you still sound like a shoe shine or something like that. And Harry's like, we only tolerate you, like, or something like that. So you have Leslie Woodrow, who was someone that worked for Harrison. He was fine, I guess, in all the scenes he was in. Elizabeth, she was good. Well, who else? Anyone else worth mentioning? Gordon, he was good. I liked him. He was Attila. He was in the start, like in the first like not an hour, maybe it was the first hour, but he was also good. I liked him. I think it was kind of stupid that like he took out his blame on. I can understand maybe like the wife, she like says like, oh, he made a pass on me, so it's like I get that, but like he thinks that like, okay. First of all, I feel like if he's your cousin, you would still probably maybe give him the benefit of the doubt. But also, he blames him for like the worksite accident. But I'm pretty sure Attila was there, so he saw what went wrong, and he probably like, I guess maybe because Laszlo was in charge, like he blamed him for it. But like, I'm pretty sure he saw like what went wrong with the accident. So I don't get why he would blame that on Laszlo. So anyway, but I did like the actor. I did like Alejandro Nivola. He was good in. Ever since The Many Saints of New York, I do like his actor, and so he was good in this role. And that is pretty much, yeah, I don't think there's anyone else worth mentioning, so I'm just going to give the characters. I'll say, I'll go with 7 out of 10, pretty good. I do think that especially, I think more so the actors. I think the actors were very good, like especially Adrian Brody and stuff. I think that they did Adrian Brody, like his rage scenes, like when he gets upset with, when he's like, especially after, when he gets upset, like the workers for like not telling him stuff and all that, and after he gets raped, when he's like back at the work site and he's like taking out his anger on like everyone else, it's very good acting from Adrian Brody. So in terms of these settings, I'll say this, it looks really nice, and I guess I'll get into this now. I'm pretty sure that this film had a controversy at some point where it's like it used AI, and I'm pretty sure it was for two things. From what I understand, it was for the some of the buildings. Like they used AI to, instead of like they used AI for like the creation of some of the buildings, and then as well as I think Adrian Brody's accent, they used AI to like improve it. And I don't really want to get into like the discussion of like the morality of using AI and stuff, because that conversation, first of all, it's not a conversation I really want to have at the moment, and it's also just a conversation that, for one, I'm not really equipped to start, and it's not the purpose of this video, basically. So I'm just going to say this: the cities looked nice, and Adrian Brody's accent was good. That's what I'll say about it. And if they use this, if it puts someone out of a job, that's not a good thing. I don't think so. But if like no one, if they just use it as like a tool to speed up the work, then I don't really care if they use it. So anyway, so the settings, it all looks very nice. Like it all feels like it's from the 1940s, 1950s and stuff. So I'm just gonna give the settings. Like you do have some nice city areas and stuff and all that. So I'm just gonna give the settings but it is also kind of like boring and stuff. So I don't know. I'll give it I'll go with 5.5 because nothing really stands out. Like you don't really remember anything really, except for like there is the architecture that they're building, but that isn't really a setting. It's just like the settings are just the cities that they're in, which they look nice, but it's not like really anything that you'll remember. So in terms of the drama, I guess I'll give the drama I'll go 6.5. I thought it was good. I thought that it very much is like the struggle of like an immigrant, like not one immigrant, but like immigrants in like America, like the hardships they face with in terms of like other people's, like how they feel towards them, where it's like most people, like even if they don't show it, like they do kind of have like this is opposite in everyone. This is just like I don't know how it was for immigrants like 1940, because I'm not an immigrant that went to America, so and this is not the 1940s, so I can't relate to the struggle really, but I do think that they did a good job, I guess, of showcasing the struggle that immigrants faced at the time. So yeah, I'll give the drama 6.5. It all really just comes down to like the hardships that Laszlo ends up facing. I'm sorry if this is coming off as me sounding like I'm forgetting words here and there because I'm really tired. It's like 3:15 in the morning. So anyway, the worst thing I would say is I don't know if I would guess. I can't really think of like a worst thing per se. Maybe the runtime. Maybe the runtime is like a bit too long. I guess I'll say that. So I'll say the runtime. It was. I'm thinking between like a 4.5 to a 5. It was between like not good and like not good or bad. But it's like not good or bad, but more so leaning on the bad side. And so I'm gonna be. Should I be harsh or generous? I'm gonna be harsh and just give it a 4.5. I thought it was like too long, honestly. Like they could have cut some of this out. So in terms of the best thing, probably the best thing was. I think just the performances, like Adrian Brody did like a great job. Harrison Lee Van Buren also, he did like a good job as the role. So I think, but I'll give it to like Adrian Brody's performance. I thought that he did a very good. He's like a very good actor, and I did very much like his performance here. So I will give that I'll say it was very good. I'll say a 7.5 for the great performances. Yeah. Anyway, extra notes that I have, let's see here. There is some nice cinematography. There were some nice shots that I did appreciate that I thought were very good. I don't really understand why Laszlo was at a food shelter, because at the time I'm pretty sure he was at Attila's house. So I don't get why he went to go to a food shelter if like he was living at Attila. Attila could have probably given him food, so I don't get what that was about. Let's see here. Laszlo, he had a therapy session with Elizabeth while she was jerking him off when they first got reunited, the night that they got reunited. So I have nothing to say about that. I'm just pointing it out. Laszlo's rage, I said it was very good. I did like all the scenes where Laszlo, he got angry. That they all were probably some of my favorite scenes in the movie. I did like that the credits were like diagonal. That was kind of cool. It was pretty original. At the end, I think the final thing that I think it was Sophia that said it. It was, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Sophia. She said like it's not, don't let anyone tell you, it's not about the journey, it's about the destination. And I guess maybe it's in reference to architecture, but in general I don't really agree with that sentiment. Like I think that the destination is good, but I also think that like the journey is usually better than the destination, I want to say. So I think maybe that sentiment had something to do with I think it more so is implying like don't worry about like Like, don't worry about where you were. Just it's about where you are now. I think that's like kind of what they were getting at. It's just maybe it wasn't phrased the best in my opinion. So, yeah. So that is pretty much all the extra notes I have. So I'm going to do the calculations. So King Crimson. All right. So it ends up coming out to about a 6 out of 10, and I think I would give it between like a 6 to a 6.5. I'd say it's between like above average and good, and I'm going to be. I'm gonna be. I don't know. I'm just gonna call it between a 6 to a 6.5. I'm not gonna give a concrete answer. I think, yeah, it's between above average and good. It got nominated for like a ton of awards and stuff, and yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't call it like that good of a movie, but then again, I'm pretty sure most people a lot of times don't agree with the nomination. So, yeah, it's still it's above average, but it's between above average and good. So, yeah, 6 to 6.5. Anyway, if you have any recommendations, any movies, shows, video game stories, anime, web series, anything that you want me to review, leave it in the comments and I will maybe possibly check it out. But with that said, that is pretty much all there is to it, so let's leave it at that.